Welcome back, folks, to Farm Sim 2022. We start our new map today, guys. We can't even kick a tire. Now, if you guys are new to Farm Sim, don't worry. We'll explain the game as we go. But as you can see, we start out with no money, no equipment, and we are on the map Drentsevaart. And I hope I didn't slaughter that, but I have a tendency to slaughter anything foreign language, that's foreign in nature, including even English, honestly. I slaughter that a lot as well. So let's get started right away. Before I start explaining everything, I want to get started on a contract before I explain the series. We're going to go ahead and take some plowing contracts. I feel like that's a good spot to start. And we are going to borrow the item since we have no tractor, and we'll get our reward or our payment reduced for this. But let's go ahead and grab that tractor, and I think we're gonna do these two fields as well. So 1633 and 165. So let's hop over here and let's grab our tractor. Um, Now, like I said, if you guys are new to Farm Sim, don't worry, because I know we're gonna have some new faces watching this. Not a big deal. Um, but who am I if you guys are new to the channel? I'm Soopa-Dave. I'm a self-proclaimed space ninja cowboy. And when I am not training to defend my back-to-back national Mars Seahorse wrestling titles, I make YouTube videos. Uh, and so we're going to go ahead over here. I'm pretty pumped up. I'm not much of a pop or soda drinker, but I've had one today, so you can tell it's going to be a crazy start. So we're right here. This is Drentsevaart. You can see all the land on this map. It's kind of a flat map, which is going to be good for us for building. It's not all flat, but we have to get to let's go check our contracts again. And active contracts. There they are, 1633 and 165. So let's take a quick look at that. And I figure plowing is a good start because that's normally the first thing you would do on a farm. So there's 17. There is 16. We're actually very close to it. We have to go around the corner to the left. I feel like this tractor may struggle a tiny bit with this plow, but we will see. Let's fold this plow up a little bit here so we're not so crazy on the road. But a few things, guys. You guys know I never talk about it here on the series. But if you would like, comment, subscribe if you're new to the channel. This would be the only time you hear it in the series, but that would be amazing. But this is a beautiful map, and I cannot wait for you guys to see this. With that being said, guys, we have some interesting rules on this series. As you can see, we start with absolutely no money. We're going to take no equipment. We also start with no land, no equipment. So we're going to have to do these contracts to make money. And we're going to rotate the plow. Let's see here. Let's get this in here. We're going to try to do this as good as we can. Now, these plows are a little bit harder to use. Lower weight. Nope, not lower weight. We want to lower the plow. Let's get this going here. And this is going to be a little bit. Let's make sure we're getting all of it. It looks like this tractor, actually, I was wrong. It seems to be handling it. And another thing, guys, we are going to have no logging. Last series, we made a lot of money logging. We're going to do this old school, only with farming and farming products, and farming factories from stuff that we're farming. And we're going to do no leasing. So we're basically doing the hardest challenge you can do in Farm Sim. Now, with that being said, we're going to have a lot of fun on this series. We do have a lot of mods in here, and I will explain them as we go. And by mods, I don't mean cheaty stuff, guys. I mean like additional tractors that the base game doesn't have, or additional buildings. Um, some really cool stuff, though, coming up in this series. So, starting out with no land or money or equipment, we're going to have to earn our keep doing contracts for other farmers in the beginning. The beauty of this map, too, is there's so many fields. We have so many options for building farms, and this is going to be such a good series. I really want to do some interesting things on there. I already have some really cool ideas about stuff we haven't done much. But because we're doing contracts, this is going to give us a few unique abilities in the beginning of this game. One, we're checking out land. We're working land that we have an option to buy later, and that's going to help quite a bit for us picking stuff. Also, we're going to be able to um use tractors that we want ahead of time before we buy them. So, like this Veltra here, we're going to be able to test out. And, if we realize like later that we really like this tractor when you use it, and if it does come in sale, if you don't know, there is a marketplace here. Oh my gosh, that's a beautiful tractor. I wish I could have it. But you can see we got no money, and we're not taking out a loan for stuff. So we're going to have to earn our keep the old-fashioned way here, guys. All right, I just rightfully can't continue without kicking a tire. Let's kick a tire, and let's get back to working here. So for those of you guys new, some of you guys will obviously know this. The reason we kick a tire at the start of an episode. When you're on a farm in real life, I grew up around a farm. Um, the number one thing you do is you check oil and all your equipment before you use it, and tires. When you're on the farm in real life, you would be amazed at how many tires can go flat over one given day, or by the time you go and get into a tractor. So the kicking the tire thing comes from starting your day out checking the tires on the farm. You give them a good kick, see if they bounce back good, or you whack them with something. That's normally how a lot of people just check tires. You just want to make sure there's some sort of pressure. All right, if you're new to farming, oh, come on, baby, you need a little bit more. I'm glad we got that weight on that front. That little bit of extra traction is helping. So, like I said, we're going to explain the farming in the game. Oh, man, I missed a little bit there. You don't want to do that. But anyway, uh, so what are we doing right now if you're new to farming? So this field has been harvested. It's not prepared for a field. So what we're doing is we're cultivating the land. Now, the cultivation that we're doing is we're plowing, and that's we're digging the soil up a little bit deeper to get the nutrients up to the top. You don't do this all the time unless, certain crops may want this all the time, but generally you're only doing this once in a while. But I figured this would be a good place to start because you can see we're getting the dirt just dug up. And because we're going to have some new people on Farm Sim on this series, I want to make sure that we're explaining exactly what we're doing because I don't want to leave anybody hanging if they're new to this game. This is a very good game. I played it a long time. In fact, we've played it. I played it since the original Farm Sim. I didn't play that one much. I really started in, I think it was 13 or 15. And this is obviously one of the most relaxing games you will ever play. If you're wondering if you like this game, you probably will. I thought when I first got it, growing up on a farm, I thought I was not going to care for this game. And I could not have been more wrong. So you're probably asking, what are goals for this series? I have some pretty interesting goals, and I don't want to complete this series until they're all done. We want to do every farm crop in the game, including olives and grapes, at least at some point in it. That's a big one for me. And to be self-sufficient. So we have some really cool mods where we can actually create our own seeds, so we don't have to buy it from the shop. Now, right away, we're not going to be able to do that, but eventually we'll be able to produce our own seed, our own fertilizer, and have to bring nothing but equipment nothing but equipment from the shop. This tractor is pretty good, but it's a little underpowered. You can see it takes a little bit of time to get it up to speed, and it likes to shift a little bit. But overall, it's not doing bad. It really isn't. We're going to try to get as much as we can. And you can see, even though we've done this outside ring, and you normally want to start on the outside, that gives you some area to work. If we look in here, we can look at the contract, and it says we're 48% complete. All right, it says top right corner, field 16 is finished, so we can stop. Even though it says it has this little bit, there's a percentage of each contract you have to do. And you know what? The good, clean consciousness of me is going to finish this field actually fully. A lot of people want, but I really just want to clean it out fully. We got the field completely plowed, so let's make our first $1,000, guys. Now there's field 165, field 33. So if we look for them on the map, right here, we can see there's where we are. We need to head over here. So I folded up the plow. I will say, I believe this may be the Veltra we had in the last series, and now I can remember that it's not ideal for a lot of things. With that being said, guys, if you're new to the channel, new to Farm Sim, like I said, don't self-promote, but I actually do have a beginner's guide. I will try to leave in a pinned comment down below if you are new to the game. I will say, though, the speed on this tractor is pretty good for transporting. Another weird thing we do here on the channel, guys, we name our tractors. It's something I always did in real life. I always have the names for them. So when we get to that time, you guys need to start thinking of equipment names. And here we are at 165. Wow. This is going to be a huge field. Holy cow. I might have bit off quite a bit of what we can chew. You can see this crop actually, what was this? We can look here. Canola, and they didn't harvest it, and it's withered now. So one other thing I think is a good time to mention is every episode I try to do a pretty cool montage, or what I call a speedy up bit. And I'm thinking here, guys, I'm going to do my best to draw inside the lines here. Sometimes like a crazy little kid with a coloring book just drawing all over the place with the plow. But I think this is the best time right now to have our first montage of the series here, folks. Now, even though we did get that field 165 done, it was a big field. It took a long time, about an hour. No, we're done. We don't want to collect that money yet because our tractor and plow that we're using are tied to that contract. So we got to get this field 133 done. Another thing about plowing is you guys could tell probably by that montage, um, it takes the most horsepower and time to really do on the farm. That's normally what your biggest tractor does if you are a person that plows quite a bit or you need to plow. Some farms don't, but you know, this, even though this doesn't look like a very big plow, it requires a lot of power. This is actually a very mid-tier tractor within the game itself. So that is a very, um, you know, it's tough to pull plows. Any cultivating in general is going to take the most power on your farm. With that being said, we're starting to run a little long on this episode, which is fine. It's episode 1. But I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm just going to power out this field here, and then talk about our today's finishing goals here of what we want to get today. We are done with field 33, so we can collect our contracts. They are right here. We should get some cash. And actually, what we're going to do is we're going to make our first little purchase here. I need to be able to get around the map. Right now, we have nothing. So we'll actually go. There should be a shop icon. Here we go. We'll go in here. You can also just hit your menu to get there too. We're going to go into miscellaneous. And we're going to buy a cheap bike here, guys. Was going to go with this one. But it's a little on the slow side. So I think we're going to try this one. And hopefully this doesn't cost extra. Nope, it does not. So we are actually going to go ahead and we're going to get ourselves a orange bike. Now, let's go outside. Um, if we can get there, there we go. Should be back here. We have our first purchase. Well, it's not a big one. It is going to help us. Oh, wait, we can pick this up? Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's fancy. All right, guys. Look at that. Let's try this thing out real quick. Oh, it even leans too. That's so cool. But this is a beautiful map. This is going to help us get around the map. And we are cruising. Pretty soon here, we are actually going to go ahead and in the next episode, we're going to try to find a piece of land to buy. So I will see you next time, folks. Have a good one.